Hi everyone, welcome back to the USCPA classes of Financial Accounting and Reporting exam. In this particular video, which is part 4 of trade receivable, we'll be covering in detail about transfer of receivable. That may be on account of pledging, maybe on account of factoring of account receivable or securitization. So let's dive into to understand more in detail about transfer of receivable.
Transfer of receivable. So receivable are also being subject to transfers. So that can be transferred as a pledge if you are taking any loan. So you can give them as a collateral, or you can factor it through the factoring company and get encashment. And that can also be used for securitization for like lending money basically. So first one is pledge or assignment. So it is a process whereby the company use existing account receivable as a collateral. That means you are giving your account receivable as a collateral to the bank. And in response to that, bank will be giving you the working capital loan. Generally, account receivable and inventory, they take for a working capital loan generally. That's what I have experienced. But some bank or maybe like financial institution can give it for the long-term loans also. But in that you need to maintain certain balance or certain covenant probably according to their needs. The company retain title to the receivable. So the title to the receivable will still with the company, but pledge that it will be used the proceeds to pay the loan. So like I said, generally it is for the working capital. For example, you have account receivable for 45 days. You have $1 million in account receivable. So you can pledge that and you can take, let's say, $500,000 as a loan. But then bank will say, or financial institution will say, out of this account receivable, first 500,000 you'll be using for the repayment of the loan. So it's generally a short-term loan or a working capital, right? Pledging require only note disclosure, and the account receivable account is not adjusted. So if you are doing like pledging for the account receivable, it just required the notes. That means this for this much account receivable, this much is the loan taken as a working capital loan or a short-term loan at what particular rate of interest. So that disclosure is required. It does not reduce the balance of account receivable. Make
तो ये
sense?
ऑफ बैलेंस शीट आइटम नहीं होती जैसे डेरिवेटिव्स और
No,
हेड्स होते हैं
it is not off balance sheet item. Why it is not off balance sheet item? Because you are receiving the loan. So when you are receiving the loan, it's a balance sheet item,
ओके
right? So for example, you have $1 million of account receivable.
Pledge.
Yeah. Yes, Akash. Are you sure saying something?
मैं प्लेज की बात कर रहा हूँ प्लेज एज अ टर्म इज नॉट अ ऑफ बैलेंस शीट
That's what I'm saying. In this transaction, if you see, you have $1 million of account receivable, which you have given to the bank as a pledge. And bank has given you $500,000 as a loan. So loan is coming to your bank account, right? You are making a journal entry as a cash account debit to working capital loan or a short-term loan. So it will reflect in your balance sheet. And then it will go as a notes to accounts. But if it is a guarantee, then it's on off balance sheet item.
असल
Right?
में मैं कंफ्यूज हो गया गारंटी और प्लेज ये भी तो गारंटी इट्स अ काइंड ऑफ गारंटी ना प्लेज भी तो
but it's an actual guarantee that I'll be utilizing first 500 only and only for the repayment of working capital loan or short-term loan which I'm taking from you. So it is very much certain.
Okay.
And amount is also measurable and determinable.
Okay.
Second is factoring. Have you heard this term before? Factoring?
Yes, sir. Last class mein we discussed it also a little bit.
So
factoring is basically आपने बताया था that when the company gives its AR to a factoring agency, who will then recover it, and they will charge a factoring commission, and they will pay you the amount of your AR as reduced by that commission, and then their responsibility to collect from the AR.
Very true. So it is a process by which the company can convert its receivable into cash immediately by assigning them to the factor, which is a factoring company, either with or without recourse. With recourse means that if the customer will not pay, then I'll pay you back. And without recourse is the entire responsibility is of factor to get the recovery. So then if customer do not pay, then factor cannot come back to me. Right? That is the difference between with recourse or without recourse.
Correct, sir.
Under the factoring arrangement, the customer may or may not be notified. So here it is not required to inform the customer that I am factoring the account receivable. So you can do the communication to him, or if you do not do, then also it's fine. It's not required by any law. Right? Without recourse, factor assume the risk of loss. And with recourse, you assume the risk of loss. That is the difference, right?
Sir, दोनों cases में then journal entry would be different, right?
No,
Yeah.
journal entry will say. But in case of actual loss, then you need to make an additional journal entry if it is without recourse. If it is with recourse.
Right. Okay.
Without recourse में will recover and will pay to the company once recovered.
No. Without recourse, you do not have responsibility for loss.
Okay.
Right? For example, 𝐒𝐿 is a company and 𝐂𝐨𝐧𝐭𝐚𝐜 is a banker. And 𝐂𝐨𝐧𝐿 do factoring services also. 𝐒𝐿 have $1 million of account receivable on 31st December 2022. Right? And 𝐒𝐿 need immediately, let's say, $900,000 to purchase something urgent, maybe like to purchase some machinery or equipment. So what 𝐒𝐿 done, 𝐒𝐿 went to the 𝐂𝐨𝐧𝐿. He said, this is $1 million of account receivable, which I wanted to factor. And 𝐂𝐨𝐧𝐿 will do the credit evaluation, like how much he will be going to recover based on like the historical trend and all those things, right? And 𝐂𝐨𝐧𝐿 reached to the conclusion that he will be charging, let's say, $50,000 as a factoring fees. So $950,000 𝐂𝐨𝐧𝐿 is ready to pay to 𝐒𝐿 immediately, and $50,000 would be his factoring charges, right? So this transaction which 𝐒𝐿 and 𝐂𝐨𝐧𝐿 has made is without recourse. So 𝐒𝐿 said, like, I'm giving you $100,000 worth of the receivable, but if someone don't pay, so that's your responsibility, right? Those credit analysis and risk assessment analysis 𝐂𝐨𝐧𝐿 has done and reached to the conclusion that I'll charge $50,000 for it, right? And he has given you $950,000. Now you are all set, right? And you are not required to inform to the customer. And if you inform, that's also okay. Now 𝐂𝐨𝐧𝐿 will recover, maybe let's say those customers are due after 30 days. So after 30 days, 𝐂𝐨𝐧𝐿 will recover the entire amount. Let's assume out of $1 million, $20,000 of worth account receivable has not given money to 𝐂𝐨𝐧𝐿, or they are bankrupt. So then what will happen? In case of without recourse, 𝐂𝐨𝐧𝐿 will not come back to the 𝐒𝐿. But in case of with recourse, 𝐂𝐨𝐧𝐿 will come back to the 𝐒𝐿 and say, these are the $20,000 account receivable, they are not paying. You need to do follow-up with them and get the money from them and return the proportionate money to me. Right? So that's the
ये
difference.
loss जो entry में book हो रहा है, this is in the case of recourse, right? Without recourse में तो फिर loss का कोई मतलब ही नहीं है, margin ही है जो भी है.
Yes.
Right.
So the journal entry when you are doing factoring would be cash account debit. Here we have taken $100 account receivable. Cash account debit 94, factor margin $2, loss on sale of account receivable $4, and the total account receivable you are foregoing is $100,000. So this will be the journal entry you will be making as a company in your books of account.
Yes, yes. Okay, sir.
Right? Akash, Ayush, any doubt?
सर एक बार ये दोबारा हुआ नहीं ना ना सर, जैसे मतलब किसी कंपनी को सर्विसेज दिया, ठीक है, हमने फैक्टरिंग की, राइट, एंड द अदर कंपनी टेक द रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ पेइंग द कैश, राइट, तो समझ नहीं आया सर ये बेसिकली है क्या।
Simple. For example, Kashish, you are doing a business and you have $1 million of account receivable sitting in your books. And now those account receivable are due after 30 days, let's assume. But you need cash immediately for purchase of something. Maybe your inventory you need to purchase, or any property, plant, equipment, or machinery you want to purchase for your business, and you need cash immediately. Right? So then you went to the bank or maybe factor company. You said, these are the $1 million of account receivable. Now give me cash and you can recover after 30 days from them. Right?
Okay.
So that company is, let's say, 𝐒𝐿. So 𝐒𝐿 will do all the assessment of the credit loss, expected credit loss, as well as 30 days interest cost. And 𝐒𝐿 has reached to the conclusion that I can pay you $950,000 instead of $1 million. Right? So 𝐒𝐿 is ready to pay you $950,000 immediately. So what will be the journal entry you will be making in your books? Cash account debit, $950,000.
Yes.
Agree? And let's say 1 month interest cost is $10,000. So your factor margin would be $10,000, and the loss of $40,000 on account of sale of account receivable is $40,000. Yes?
Yes, sir.
And to account receivable which you are foregoing, $1 million. Make sense?
सर लेकिन अगर बाद में अगर हम मतलब रिकवर ही ना कर पाए, in that case.
So there are two type of factoring. Like so far you understood what is the accounting entry in your books?
Yes, sir.
Now coming to the second phase. Second phase, after 30 days, if 𝐒𝐿 get the collection, then what will happen? And if 𝐒𝐿 will not get the collection, what will happen? If 𝐒𝐿 get the collection, then you have nothing to do. No accounting entry is required in your books. Right? Agree?
Yes, sir.
If 𝐒𝐿 does not recover the full money, let's say he recover 980,000 only, $20,000 he is not able to recover, then what will happen? If the original agreement which you and 𝐒𝐿 has entered is with the recourse, in that case of scenario, it's your responsibility to follow with those account receivable to pay $20,000 to 𝐒𝐿. If they do not pay, then you need to book the loss in your account and you need to make 𝐒𝐿 good. If you have entered original agreement without recourse, in that case of scenario, you have to do nothing. 𝐒𝐿 has to deal with those $20,000 account receivable directly.
Okay, got it.
Right? Everyone? Right? 𝐒𝐿, good?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So last one is securitization. The account receivable are transferred to a different entity such as trust or subsidiary. The entity then sells those securities that are collateralized by the account receivable, and investor receive the cash as account receivable are being paid. So you can use it for the debt raising also. Factor margin. It is the amount protect the factor against sales returns, sales discount, allowance, and customer dispute. If the return, discount, and allowance are less than the retained amount, the balance will be returned to the seller. With recourse, factor do not assume the risk. Factor has option to resell any uncollectible receivable back to the seller, which we have discussed earlier. Now, coming to the possible treatment of sale of account receivable and borrowing against account receivable. In order to be considered as a sale, the transfer must meet the following condition. This all in case of factoring. First is reasonably estimate can be made for seller's obligation for uncollectible account. That factor will do the reasonable assessment that how much money he or she is going to receive from the account receivable, right, which he or she is purchasing. Second is seller or transferor surrender the control of the future economic benefit of the receivable to the buyer. That means Kashish will surrender the control for the future economic benefit. That means in future, Kashish will not go back to the customer and ask for the money, because that right he has already transferred to the 𝐒𝐿 to do the recovery. Third is transferor cannot be required to repurchase the receivable, but may be required to replace the receivable with other similar receivable. Right? In case of borrowing, if transferor with record is not the sales of account receivable, then it is treated as borrowing. So in case of securitization, if it is not treated as a sale of account receivable, then it is considered as a borrowing. Let's do a practice question. Milano company pledged some of its accounts receivable to Kind Neighbor Finance Corporation in return of a loan. Which of the following statement is correct? Kind Neighbor Financing will take the title to receivable and will return the title to Milano after the loan is paid. What is the call of the question? Milano company pledge. So this is a pledge question, not a factoring question. Right? Milano company pledge some of its account receivable to the financing company in return of the loan. So they have taken working capital loan and pledged the account receivable. Which of the following statement is correct? First one is finance company will take the title of receivable. Does the finance company take the title of receivable in case of pledge?
No sir, factoring में जाता है but इसमें नहीं जाता.
Right? So first option is incorrect. Second is finance will assume the responsibility of collecting the receivable. Does the financing company assume the responsibility to collect? Answer is no.
No sir.
Right? Milano will retain the control of receivable. Yes. Fourth is finance company cannot take the title to the receivable if Milano does not repay the loan. Title can only be taken if receivable are factored. Right? So this is also incorrect. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yes, title तो सर किसी भी केस में जाएगा नहीं ना, मतलब अगर
Yes.
pledge है तो
Yes.
title
In case of
transfer का तो कोई point नहीं है. No.
Right? Okay. So now let's jump into the note receivable and promise to pay a debt. So here we'll be understanding three things: classification, valuation, and discounting of note receivable. So classification, like we all know, current and non-current. What is current assets? Which is receivable within
12 months or the operating
12
cycle.
months.
operating
Operating
cycle, and non-current which are receivable after 12 month or operating cycle, depending on the collection will occur. Valuation, how do you do the valuation of note receivable? That's on present value. So notes are always being valued at a present value, that is face value minus any unearned interest or finance charges. Discounting of note receivable, when endorsing the note to the third party and receive a sum of cash. First one is seller or holder remain the contingent liability and assume the risk in case of uncollectible. Then disclosure is required as a contra asset or as a contingent liability for the user of the financial statement. Second treatment would be considering as a notes sold to discounting company and removed from the seller balance sheet, and seller assume no further responsibility. This is similar to factoring position. Right? Any doubt here?
No, sir.
Okay, let's do an illustration. Discounting of note to a bank. Z company has $40,000 90 days note from customer dated September 30th, year 2, due on December 30th, year 2. So they have issued the note of $40,000 on 30th September, which is due on 30th December, and they are bearing the interest rate of 12%. On October 30th, that means after 1 month, after 30 days of the issue, Z company take the note to its bank, which is willing to discount it at a 15% rate of interest. The note was paid to Z company's customer at a maturity on December 30th, year 2, that is 60 days later. Compute the amount to be paid by the bank for the note and determine the amount that Z company should report as interest income from the note. Have you understood the question?
Yes, sir.
What can you help me with your understanding?
बेसिकली इसमें ये था कि हमारे पास नोट रिसीवेबल था जो कि ड्यू था विद इन 90 डेज
Yes.
40,000 का, ठीक है.
Yes.
एंड ईयर 2 पे इंटरेस्ट, मतलब जो इंटरेस्ट का अमाउंट था दैट वाज 12%. हमने उस नोट को आगे बैंक को मतलब दे दिया जिससे कि हमें उसके अगेंस्ट पैसा रिसीव होए, तो वो उसको बैंक ऑब्वियसली डिस्काउंट करेगा एक पर्टिकुलर रेट पे, दैट इज 15%. अब जो कस्टमर था वो हमारे पास आया, जेड कंपनी के पास आया, जो जेड कंपनी का कस्टमर था, और उसने अपनी 30 दिसंबर की मैच्योरिटी डेट पे वो पैसा रिटर्न कर दिया उस नोट के अगेंस्ट था. तो बेसिकली व्हाट वी आर इज कि बैंक को कितना पैसा देना है नोट के लिए.
Yeah, one important information is missing, that we hold this note receivable for 30 days. Right. So that is also very important.
Correct.
What is the call of the question? Determine the amount that Z company should report as net interest income from the note. So if you see step 1, maturity value, which is face value plus interest. So face value is 40,000, interest is 12% for 3 months at 40,000, right? Which is $41,200, right? Gurmehar, Kashish?
Yes, sir.
So till this amount, everyone is comfortable. How do we calculate? How we have calculated 41,200?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Now second is after 1 month, you have given this note to the bank for discounting, and bank is charging 15%, but they will charge 15% for 3 months or 2 months.
2 months होगा ना सर.
2 months, right? So 15% discount for 60 days on 41,200 is 1030. That means this will be the bank charges.
Yes, sir.
Right? So amount paid by the bank for the note would be face value plus interest minus their bank charges, which is 40,170, and they have paid 40,000 for it. So the interest income will be $170 only. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
Right? So
पर
if you see,
इससे बेटर तो सर ये पहले वाला ही निकला, क्योंकि 41,200 तो उसमें, इसमें बैंक को तो सर जो इंटरेस्ट विद मिला था.
no, but they need money immediately. No? So that is the reason they sold this 41,200 at 41,170.
Okay.
So if you see here, we have calculated net interest income. if you see the 1 month interest which they have earned on 40,000 is around $400, but for next 2 months they have paid excess interest to the bank of $260, $230. So that is the reason the net interest income they have is only $170. Right? Yes, no?
Yes, sir, got it.
Yes.
So discount on note receivable dishonored in case of dishonor. So remove the contingent liability. So note receivable note receivable discount account debit to note receivable, that will be the journal entry, and note receivable dishonor should be recorded to the estimated recoverable amount of the note, and loss should be recognized if estimated recoverable amount is less than the amount required to be settled the note's any applicable penalty. So if there is any dishonor of the note, so whatever is the difference, you need to book that loss immediately. Right? Any doubt here?
Sir.
No,
sir.
Okay, so look at an illustration. A company factored its account receivable without recourse to XYZ Bank. As a result of this transaction, A received cash. Which one is the best described? First is, okay. A loan from XYZ collateralization by A account receivable. B is loan from XYZ to be repaid by proceeds of A's account receivable. And C is sales of A's account receivable of XYZ with the risk of uncollectible account transfer to XYZ. Which one best this time? What is the question? X company factor. What they are doing? Factoring of the account receivable without recourse. What is without recourse? That they are not assuming the responsibility. As a result of this transaction, A received the cash. Out of A, B, C, which point best describe this situation?
First तो नहीं है sir.
First is not there because loan from XYZ collateralization, it is not a loan. Second is also incorrect.
ए तो सर प्लेज हो गया ना.
Yes.
Correct. Or loan from XYZ to be repaid by the proceeds from A accounts receivable, sir.
That is also pledge.
Yes, ये भी pledge का ही वो हो गया scenario. So third should be correct, which is sale of A's accounts receivable to XYZ. Transfer to XYZ. Yes, right. यही है sir. Transfer.
Right?
सी है.
Everyone?
Yes, sir.
Agree?
Yes.
Okay, let's do a practice question.
Sir, bold कर दो sir. सीखो.
Okay, for future reference.
Yes, sir. Correct.
Okay, so let's do a practice question. Benetton company sold goods for which it received a note bearing the market rate of interest on that date on August 15 of the current year. The 4-month note was dated this July 15th. Note principal together with all interest is due on November 15. Which of the following account increased when the note was recorded on August 15? What is the call of the question?
Sir, so basically we need to tell which account is being affected by this transaction.
So look at the first line again. Benetton sold goods for which it received note bearing the market interest rate on that date of 15th August. The 4-month note was dated this July 15th. Note principal together with interest is due on November 15. So August to September, October, November, there's some problem in it.
यस, क्योंकि इसमें 2 डेट दे दिया उसने, जुलाई 15 और अगस्त 15.
And there is a 3-month note dated.
सर नोट जिसने दिया,
Hmm.
अच्छा राइट,
Okay, right?
दिया
Note,
तब उससे पहले का नहीं हो सकता ना, राइट.
note principal together with all interest is due on November 15. Which of the following account increased when the note was recorded on August 15? Unearned discount, prepaid interest, interest revenue, or interest receivable?
Receivable.
इंटरेस्ट रिसीवेबल, ठीक है, क्योंकि
Why?
बाकी
सर वो मुझे ऐसा लगता है, वो आई डोंट नो, मैं गलत हो सकता हूँ, जो डेटेड था ना जुलाई, वो
Hmm.
पुराना किसी का था पहले का, हमें अगस्त में मिला, तो
Yes.
उसपे एक्रूड इंटरेस्ट ऑलरेडी एक्यूमुलेटेड था.
Yes. You're right. So it was like 4-month note dated 15th July, which is due on 15th November, July to August, September, October, November, right? And you have received on 15th August. So interest was already due on it. 1 month interest was already due on it. That's the reason 4th option is correct. Yes, you're right.
ये जो सर पूछ रहा है which of the following accounts actually increased, ये मतलब हाँ, आंसर देख के तो यही लग रहा है कि इंटरेस्ट रिसीवेबल ही बढ़ा होगा. वैसे प्रैक्टिकली और भी अकाउंट्स बढ़े होंगे ना उसमें, मतलब नोट रिसीवेबल.
Yeah, so you need to select the option
Best
from
wage
best right
correct.
option. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
हमारा
Okay.
रिकॉर्डेड इंटरेस्ट होगा उसके ऊपर, वो हमें ही मिलेगा ना अब तो, जुलाई.
Yes.
क्योंकि अब तो 1 महीने का भी जब मैंने ही नोट ले लिया तो आई विल बी
Yeah, you will get the cash.
और ऐसा भी हो सकता है सर कि इसमें इस सिनारियो में ये हुआ हो कि जो जुलाई 15 को इशू था, तो जब हमें नोट ट्रांसफर होके हमें मिल गया, ठीक है, तो जो इंटरेस्ट था वो पिछले ओनर ने ही रिसीव कर लिया हो, तो हम
No, interest will
तो
be
इस पे
on
मैच्योरिटी
15th
पे है ना,
4 मंथ के. अच्छा,
Yeah, it is clearly mentioned
Majority पे.
interest is
15
due.
को है, ठीक है, ओके. ओके.
अगर ना
Right.
ये लिखा होता तो फिर हम डीम कर सकते थे कि वो ले चुका है, हमारा उससे कोई मतलब नहीं.
Right. So if you go to the book, so we are done with these 2 topics, cash and account receivable. Inventory is already done earlier. So tomorrow we'll target to finish PPNA. Right. So I think for 10-15 minutes starting new topic may not be effective. So maybe we can try to finish PPNA tomorrow.
सर एक बार ये
Yeah.
वाला जो टॉपिक्स कवर हो गया इसका भी सर एक बार भेज देता सर ये.
Say that again.
सर द टॉपिक्स दैट यू हैव मेंशन्ड नाउ, इसका
Mm-hmm.
भी एक बार सर भेज देते स्लाइड वगैरह की,
I'll send
ताकि
you.
वी विल क्रॉस चेक कि हाँ एक्चुअली कुछ मिस तो नहीं हो गया हमसे.
Yes, I'll send you the group.
ठीक है सर ये अब
कैश और अकाउंट्स रिसीवेबल वाला जो टॉपिक खत्म हुआ है इसके भी नोट्स भी
हाँ इसका yeah, I'll send it notes.
हाँ जी सर
email.
इसके भी करंट नोट्स.
ठीक है. So I'm sending
सर,
you
मैं
this.
इसके क्वेश्चंस कर रहा था लॉन्ग टर्म लाइबिलिटीज के, 125 एमसीक्यूज हैं. उस टॉपिक में पता नहीं क्यों रेशियोज पे बड़े क्वेश्चन है. टैक्स पे है, यूएस के वो टैक्स हैं, 2 टाइप के अलग अलग टैक्सेस हैं, फैक एफईसी करके और एक और है. और उन्होंने रेशियोज के क्वेश्चंस डाल रखे हैं उस सेट के अंदर, पता नहीं क्यों. बट
What type
मतलब
of
हम
ratios? Like
सारी की
general
सारी
ratio analysis?
हाँ, डेट अर्निंग रेशो, आपकी लिक्विडिटी रेशो, आपकी
Debt to equity ratio.
प्राइस टू अर्निंग रेशो.
So those are like straightforward formula. If you go to the book, there's like 3 pages in that you have all formulas of ratio analysis.
तो ये वही है ना जो ऑडिट में हमने एक पेज था नोट्स
Yes,
पर, सारा वही है.
yes. 100% same. Ratio analysis formula are same for all. You will see in FAR same, you will see in audit same, you will see in BC. All these 3
सर बट
books it's
एक
same.
चीज मैंने देखी, इन टॉपिक्स के अंदर क्वेश्चंस बहुत बड़े बड़े हैं. मतलब आप अगर
Lengthy.
उनको कैलकुलेट भी करते हो सर, आई डोंट, मैं बड़ा वो हो रहा हूँ कि पेपर में अगर ऐसे ऐसे क्वेश्चंस आ रहे होंगे तो पेपर कंप्लीट कैसे होगा?
No, like paper will always be a mix of things. You'll get, like 40% like small questions, around 40% medium size question and 20% would be big size question. So exam is always be a mix of it, not be all same.
ओके, क्योंकि यहाँ पे तो एमसीक्यू आप 10 का सेट खोलते तो 8 क्वेश्चन वो कैलकुलेशन वाले ही आ रहे हैं.
Because like if you deal with the bigger question, you will be prepared more. So that's the whole objective, like of the software.
तो अभी तक मैंने 800 क्वेश्चन 800 मैंने कर चुका हूँ. मेरा टारगेट है कि मैं 15 जुलाई तक 1200-1300 निपटा दूं और फिर मैं अगस्त में एग्जाम दूं.
Very nice, very nice. And we'll also take target now to finish this in July month, the remaining FAR, because like
हाँ, तो फिर अगस्त में तभी दे पाऊंगा अगर कंप्लीट होगा
yes,
तो.
yes, we'll target to finish off in this month.
So first जो चैप्टर है that is more theoretical.
Not really, not really. So
ये concepts and ऐसा
yeah,
कुछ दिख रहा था.
conceptual framework, it's more of yeah, but this is more of like balance sheet, income statement, cash flow statement, kind of more of financial statement, which 10K most of the time I used to walk you through.
Okay.
And this one is we will go along with chapter 4, which is your governmental accounting, because they both are very same.
Okay.
And 10K, 10Q, I keep on, like representing you. So you are now very much familiar with this 10K, 10Q, and 8K. Segment reporting and earning per share, very small topics kind of thing. Cash basis of accounting and tax basis of accounting, you may see 1 or 2 questions would be coming.
Okay.
So major topic is these two for exam perspective from non-governmental accounting. This is very much similar to the governmental accounting. So we'll cover this along with the governmental accounting too. So we are about to
this बता रहे हो ना वो मतलब हम स्क्रीन पे देख नहीं पा रहे.
Sorry, say that again.
आप जो this बता रहे हो ना हम स्क्रीन पे देख नहीं पा रहे. आपने शेयर नहीं की भी स्क्रीन.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay, now you can see. Yeah. So what I'm saying, like in the chapter 2, so these two are the topics which is like bigger topic of chapter 2, which is conceptual framework. It is more of, like what is the business entity, non-business entity, FASB. It's more of like what we discuss in very first class. Then second topic is your balance sheet, income statement, cash flow statement, comprehensive income, change in equity, or notes to accounts, consolidated. This is 100% same what you are studying in GM financial statement or Microsoft financial statement, which each time I'll keep you referring. Right. And then this topic, third topic, which is not for profit entity. This and the governmental accounting, which is your last chapter, fifth chapter, state and local government. They are very much similar in terms of accounting. So we'll do this two together so that in a one go we will finish off. Okay. And now coming back to the fourth topic, then this public company reporting topic, 10K, 10Q, you all are aware of, right? And then earning per share and segment reporting is very significant topic. Employee benefit is a good topic, and then cash basis and tax basis of accounting is very small topic, 1 or 2 questions you can expect from it. And then ratio analysis you have already studied. Okay. Right. So we'll not be repeating this one again. Okay. So I can expect maybe like 1 class for this, and then 2 classes for this, and then maybe like 1 class for this, 4, and then 1 class for this, and then maybe 2 or 3 classes for this one. 3 or 3 is 6, or 2 8 classes, 8 or 10 more classes you can say. That means like 5 weeks. We'll target to wrap up in July month itself. Okay. Okay. Cool. Okay, let's catch up tomorrow.
Sure, sir.
All right.
सर ये notes
Okay,
भेज
sir.
देना and
I'm sending you.
Thank you, sir.
thank you, sir.
Okay.
Bye,
Bye.
sir.
Bye,
Bye.
sir.
Bye bye.